Well, Ross, you were a federal MP.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever feel like you just risked becoming a one-dimensional character, that all you talked about was politics? Maybe you're still in that space, Ross.
One-speed guy. That's my father refused to join Rotary because Rotary say you can't talk about religion or politics, and my father said they're the only two subjects worth discussing. So I'm happy to talk about politics uphill and down dale.
But did you ever want to talk about something else? Say when you were in Parliament, did you ever just want to say, you know, there's something else to me that I'm interested in?
Well, I was also, me was certainly my favourite subject. You know, any dimension of me, I'm happy to talk about.
Okay, well, you know, I think we here at Keneally and Cameron can offer a public service to the federal members of our Parliament.
Yes.
And give them 5 minutes to show Australia that they have a life.
Yes.
Outside politics.
Okay, good. So long as we want to say to our audience, we want you to stick and stay. We are about to see a dimension of Ed Husic, who I'm going to say something nice about at the very end of this little clip on an unrelated subject. But as I understand it, Ed is absolutely nuts about basketball.
I like how you finished it with the about basketball, because I was worried where you were going there.
Ed, you are actually known as the Minister for Basketball.
Yes, and I...
yes?
Yes, I actually started that title, and I'm hoping it'll catch on, so thank you.
My pleasure. How long have you had a love of the game?
Well, coming from a Balkan background, it's a really popular sport, particularly in the former Yugoslavia. I saw it first played in Belgrade, of all places, with my 6'6" cousin playing the game, and it just went in Western Sydney. It's a really popular sport in our area, and he just went from there and played through uni. And
who are you supporting in that shot on screen now?
Well, this guy actually. I'm a massive Chicago Bulls fan, but the shirt that I was busted in is of a guy who's the captain of the Bosnian basketball team who plays for the Brooklyn Nets, Mirza Teletovic, and so he's a pretty big deal. And I was just training in the gym when they called the division, and I got caught in that. So, not one of my better moments, but...
I think we've got another shot that's possibly more embarrassing, depending on your point of view. Here we are, of course. We all know the guy on the right, Kevin Rudd. Tell us who else is in this photo. And
the super tall guy right at the left is NBA legend Vlade Divac and his wife Anna, who are out here trying to fundraise for refugees within Serbia. And that was when Kevin was foreign minister, and we were trying to work out how to get some help there. And on approach, Kevin walked up to Vlade Divac, who was sitting down. Vlade Divac, all 7 feet 1 inch of him, stood up, and Rudd's comment was, "God, you are tall."
He's never lost for words, our former Prime Minister. Now, I understand there's a bit of a friendly parliamentary basketball comp that occurs from time to time in Canberra. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us who's got game down there in the halls of Canberra?
Well, we have every Tuesday, 7 a.m. outside of Parliament House, out of the House of Reps. The old tennis courts have been converted into basketball and netball courts. Once we actually get the netballers off the court, it's pretty good. Jim Chalmers plays. Michael Sucker from the member for Deakin. Sucker from Victoria. He plays. He's very good. Good on the low post. Jim Chalmers, very good. Tim Watts weaves in. He's the member for Gellibrand.
So he's no different than he is in his political career. Just weaves in and out.
In and out, yeah. Good, absolutely good observation. And the other guy who's got some really good game is Senator Zed Seselja.
Oh.
Yeah. Canberra, ACT.
Yes.
Wow.
So I call him the Dino Raja of our game. So yeah.
What position does he play?
Well, he actually, good low post game. All the older, taller guys, good low post if they're not running and having to shoot from long distances. But he's actually quite versatile and has a good outside shot too.
So never a temptation to throw an elbow and...
I wouldn't want to report on that, but yeah.
Now, I spent a year in Indiana in high school as a Hoosier.
Yes.
I know next
Very
door to, the
To
Crown
Ohio.
Princess of Ohio. The thing that I like about basketball as a parent, right, is I had kids who played, two of my sons were playing cricket and one was playing basketball. And so the one's playing cricket, you drive from one side of the city to the other in absolutely shocking bumper-to-bumper congestion after 13 years of Labor inaction on infrastructure. And then you'd finally get there. Your kid would be standing out there, next to the fence for about an hour before the ball would ever come. He'd stand to face one ball, he'd be out LBW on a questionable judgment, then he'd be back in the car heading home. It was a disaster, right? Now, it was basketball. You get to, most of it's indoors, so you get to play in all weather. It's over in an hour. It's a team sport. It's cardiovascular. It's a parent's dream.
It's a parent's dream, but Ed, didn't you also use all of those attributes of basketball in your own electorate?
What, the whole running around a team sport?
No, all the reasons kids love to play basketball.
Oh, yeah.
How did you use that to get them to go to school?
We actually did a really good program that involved Basketball Australia and a former boomer, Ben Knight, called No School, No Play. We funded it actually ourselves. We had support from people like Woolies and Westpac, and we had basically 120 students, 6 weeks, 6 schools, 1 hour a week, taught them the game of basketball, but also about eating properly and the importance of engaging in school, and did that for a number of years, massively popular. And we'd get the 2 best teams to play right before a Sydney Kings game at the Entertainment Centre. And all the teachers said that they saw the engagement and the attendance just lift remarkably for the worst of the kids. And it was a pretty powerful tool. But as Ross says, it's really popular amongst young people, and parents love seeing their kids play because both the boys and girls can play. But the issue is you get all this enthusiasm and then it goes nowhere because we don't have enough facilities within the sort of Sydney metro area and within New South Wales to be able to take it to the next level, and that's a longer term challenge.
Well, I tell you, one of the things that irritates me, and I'm looking at our local governments in particular, but those who are custodians of basketball courts, one of the greatest pleasures of basketball is the whoosh sound.
It's true.
When you go through all net. It's a lovely, lovely sound and a satisfying moment. But most of these courts have just got the steel rim and no net because the asset maintenance is so shocking. You've got a piece of property which is probably worth $500,000, just the property alone, but we can't spend $5 to put up a net on the basketball hoop.
I'm feeling a local government reform rant coming on.
Well, really, I mean, this should be the lead argument for merging local government areas is let's put nets on the hoops of council-run basketball courts.
All right,
I appreciate
Ross,
the swish because of its rarity in my case. So.
got to ask you a couple of questions before we go. Your view, the best basketball player of all time?
Oh, it's Jordan, it's without doubt.
Absolutely, got to agree with that. Best Australian team of all time?
Oh, good question. Well, we've had some really good performances in times past. I think the next one that's coming is going to be really good.
Good answer.
In the sense that you've got some... Well, when you look at the team, the composition of the team that played now, and you look at the fact that we didn't even have like Paddy Mills, Andrew Bogut on court, Dante Exum, who's going to be phenomenal, has just been drafted, and we had Cameron Bairstow, who's playing for the Bulls and just drafted as well. I think this next generation holds a lot of promise and will take over. And also you miss people like Maddie Dellavedova, who are playing for the Cavs.
There's a lot of talent there, depth of talent. Now, really quickly, one real quick one, your projection for the Opals. They're going to the World Championship next week.
I'm just going to say they're going to win it.
Excellent. Well, that's a good positive
Well, because
note
the girls have just always been so much stronger, and the Opals have proven themselves on so many occasions.
We're going to wrap up. You gave a gun speech in the Federation Chamber in response to the emergence of Islamic extremism. I think it's the best speech on the subject given so far by any Member of Parliament. So congratulations. We've got news next, and then we'll be right back.